episode of The Teen Scene. We have a very special guest for you today, Travis Brown, to talk about his teen entrepreneur business. Don't touch that remote. And we have a very special guest today. He graduated from being a teen. He's 20 now. This is Travis Brown. Welcome, Travis.
Well, thank you. It was really awesome to be here. A great opportunity.
It's awesome to have you here. And maybe you could tell us a bit about growing up, and you have your own business now. You're an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm. Well, being a teenager has been fun for me. It's been fun for me. I guess starting at, I had my first business when I was 8. I had a t-shirt distribution company while I was 16. So obviously, as you can obviously tell, as a teenager, I haven't been able to experience all the teenage side of it, more of the business side. But even still, I mean, being a teenager has been very fun, difficult, and all the stuff in between as well. So I guess, you know, as I was towards 16 is when I started experiencing all the fun stuff of really being a teenager, you know, really getting out there, because we're confused. You know, as a teenager, you definitely are confused, and you start to convince yourself that you know what you're doing, but then you really don't. So I mean, it's kind of an uphill battle, especially at that age. Really, is when you start understanding yourself a little more, but then you start embarking on other adventures where, you know, stuff starts to get unknown at that point. So, but for me, again, I mean, I really love being a teenager, because you do have an aspect of fun. But then, of course, your parents expect you to do more, you know. But I mean, that's really when you start really experiencing a lot of new things.
That's very true. I think it's really true. But so what exactly brought you into the business of t-shirts and stuff?
Well, I've always been in the fashion industry. I've always wanted to have my own distribution company. You know, you can ask, I mean, with my mother, I mean, I would always be in her closet trying to find stuff, you know, just to put on other people. But again, with t-shirts in itself, I always looked around and I always saw how simplistic it is, really. Just more so, people buy stuff more so on the name than it is the design itself. It's almost like the uglier it is, the more people like it.
Exactly.
So, you know, I thought, obviously, let me work on my name first, create a name for myself, then brand it on a t-shirt. Then it doesn't really make a difference what you really have on it. Now, honestly, I wanted to have quality pieces, but, you know, it was more so, okay, I want people to know this is Travis Brown, you know, more so of, okay, this is just a work of art.
So you're really going for the designer aspect, not
Correct.
so much the exact appearance of it, more the name brand.
Correct. So, I mean, even still, I started off, I had a local supplier. It was a young lady, actually. She did cheerleading outfits. And she was in a warehouse, so obviously I would call her up and say, hey, this is what we need to get done. It was mainly for a lot of people doing like family reunions and certain events that people needed mass distribution t-shirts already, so I was just supplying that need. So I would then go to the individual, say this is what needs to be done, these are how many we need. She would give it to me, and I would supply it to whoever would need it.
So you take specific requests, but you also make your own type of designs of shirts. That's very interesting.
Correct. So the first part obviously makes you the money up front, because you don't have to think, okay, you need a need, let me supply that need right away, and then as well, then you know, okay, this is the person that I can come to this, and then I also had something that you knew, okay, this is something personal from me.
Yeah, and you're basically mass texting it out. We're going to take a break. With us now, we have Emma and Christy. Welcome to the show. Do you all have any questions for him?
Yeah, I have a question. Now, it's already hard enough being a teen, but what made you think you could handle your own business?
I did. A lot of times, really, they said the best way to conquer stuff, don't think about it. You know, you just do it. Because when you start thinking about stuff, you start coming up with reasons in your head of why you can't. So the best thing to do is really just, as long as you know what you want, it doesn't have to be definite. You don't have to go out and get all this other stuff. You just start movement and you're going to get there.
Okay. So you were confident about your business?
Yes, I was very confident. I've been confident all my life. Now, obviously, that's something that you can't necessarily teach, but you kind of have to have. But, I mean, there were a lot of times where I didn't know, and then that's when the 16-year-old starts to kick in, because then I would have my business on one side, and then my friends would be like, hey, come on, let's play football, let's go out and, be a teenager. So that was my biggest struggle, was obviously trying to keep myself focused enough to really start, getting the business aspect of it. And then, that's why I feel as though that's why I love, especially the newer teens that's coming up now, just because there were a lot of things that I wasn't able to experience because I was so business minded. I wasn't able to experience as a teenager to actually have fun, play with my friends, go out, hang out, enjoy your life. That's because at the end of the day, we're doing all of this so that we can enjoy ourselves, not so that we can just be drones to whatever craft we're doing.
So, girls, do you have another question?
Yeah, I do. How did the business interfere with your school life?
I was homeschooled starting from 9th grade.
Oh, okay.
So, again, that's why I stated. Obviously, I've had a very different transition. Public school for me was difficult. It was very difficult. Again, being a teenager, you have trouble focusing. You're all over the place, especially just getting into high school. You're like, oh my God, what do I do? So, of course, Mom was like, okay, no, cut that. We need to get you in a more, just in a, because high school to me, obviously public school is awesome. Public school is awesome. But sometimes it can be too awesome. And there are times, obviously, where you're so focused on, try to get your name out there in school, you're forgetting to really sit down, crack down on the academic portion as well. So, she took me out from homeschool. I was in homeschool from 9th to 12th grade.
Do you have another question?
Yeah. When you were younger, did you have like a favorite item that you sold?
Yes, candy.
Yeah.
Candy. I always said, you know what? Why in the cafeteria they serve you everything but candy? You can't go to the candy machine. And actually, no, you could. I used to always walk by the teacher's lounge, and they had the vending machines at the teacher's lounge. I was like, that's not fair. So what I did was, Mom took me to the closest Costco, and she said, bought me candy. It was Starburst, Skittles, So then obviously I would go to my friends and say, hey, you guys want some candy? And that was huge. I really didn't know, obviously, there was a market for everyone loves candy. So I got to a point where the principal of the school said, okay, Travis, unless you want the school to have a fundraiser, obviously, they say you really couldn't do it. Now, that didn't mean I didn't do it. It just didn't mean I didn't do it, publicly. So, because the teachers wanted a cut. That's what it was. They wanted a cut. So I said, no. So yeah, that was my favorite item, candy.
Sounds like you had an underground candy shop.
It was.
So tell me, what are you selling now, Travis?
Well, actually, that's funny. Again, I've moved up from candy, and I'm selling the adult coffee. And I have an international gourmet healthy coffee company. And we are in 15 different countries. We are a 100% organic product, and the herb that's in our product makes our coffee healthy.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So do you all have any more questions?
I have another question. What kind of products have you sold? Can you name them?
The various products that I've sold officially has been coffee. I also did ringtones for cell phones, t-shirt distribution, modeling, and now it's so video email software, and now it's coffee.
Wow, you've been busy.
So like if I wanted to start like my own business, what are some like tips?
Ask a lot of questions. Whatever industry you want, and that's really what I did. And fortunately, my mother had a lot of different connections, so she opened a lot of different doors for me. But the best way to get in any type of industry, ask whoever's in the industry, obviously having success in that industry, and you just channel them, piggyback on them. Ask them as many questions as you want, ask them as many questions that you have, so that you can really get a full grasp of, okay, is this really what I want? Is this something I'm going to do for right now, or is this going to be something I'm going to do for a long term as well?
Okay.
That's interesting. Do you have any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, actually, I mean, you really have to figure out what you want to do. You know, when we're kids, that's why I find it really the easiest to really start on your path, because when you're kids, you want to be everything. You know, you want to be firemen, policemen, lawyers, doctors, so on and so forth. So that's when people start dreaming the most when you're young. So all you need to do is, again, figure out, hey, what would I like to do? You know, what are my hobbies? What are certain things that I think may not be important, but in reality may make a huge difference? And then once you do that, obviously find a need in whoever needs whatever you want to do, and that's kind of how you start that process. You know, really looking within inside yourself to really start seeing, okay, this is something that I can do that can possibly make a difference.
That's good advice.
Oh, thank you.
We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. Welcome back. Do you have any advice for them about their passions and how they should pursue them?
Well, yeah, actually, if I may, what do you want to do? What do you like to do now?
I like art, and I like drawing and stuff like that.
Okay, so great. You love art. The best thing to do is they have a lot of craft shows and art shows. Go to those shows, talk to the people, feel the emotion, feel the energy from those artists. Because artists are really friendly people. Of course you got non-friendly, but they're really friendly people. So they love to talk about themselves and how because everyone has a story. That's another thing. You have to have a story. So a lot of the artists have stories of how they came to their art and how they got their craft. And, so again, that's a phenomenal atmosphere for you, especially if you like art. So I guess you young lady, what do you like to do?
I like being around animals.
Okay.
And I would like to help animals that, like strayed animals that need a home and just kind of shelter them.
That's another great point. My brother actually, he wanted to be a veterinarian. What he did when he was in school, he went to the local vet shop and he asked, hey, could I clean the floors, whatever, just to be in the environment of that animal shelter. Now, he did find out that he may not want to be a veterinarian just because, again, the veterinarians, they do a lot of stuff. They are really hands-on with animals. So you may have to clean up poop. You may have to, deal with those certain things that come with it, but that's your choice, of course. So I would definitely encourage you to find the nearest vet shop and definitely find, or a zoo. Just say, hey, do you guys mind if I come maybe a day a week or whatever just to help out? Again, that will get you that immediate contact with the animals that you love so much. When you're talking about art and animals, really what you guys need to do, and this is where the internet comes to play, okay? You start just Googling random stuff, art, animals, same thing, and start seeing what other people are doing to help those certain, because both of those are extreme needs. Animals and art, those are extreme needs. So what you do, you start researching to see, okay, you know, how are people getting in contact with the community, because that's another great aspect of what we have, because we all live in phenomenal communities, so where you can go to your neighbors and say, hey neighbor, do you mind, you know, critiquing this, or do you mind seeing this? Same thing, I know a lot of everyone's walking their dogs and stuff and say, hey, you know, what do you say? Do you mind me, you know, watching your dog? Do you mind me, you know, taking care of your dog if it's sick or whatever? Just so you can get in those environments, because once you start getting people to like you, that's it. You know, I mean, really, the main thing is obviously being personable. And once you figure out, okay, this person needs this, you just find the best way to present yourself to them and open yourself up to them, obviously letting them know that your services are available. Once they like you, they want you. Really what you really want to do, within whatever craft that you want to do, you want to come up with a product or service that someone needs. Like you said, with your art. You can actually, like, you don't have to be a professional, number one, to auction off your art. People will find stuff that they like. So, I mean, you could create a particular sculpture, you know, or just a particular painting that you feel, number one, is close to your heart, that you have a story about, something that you feel that could be your signature, and you come up with that, post it out, send it out to all different avenues, and you can kind of get that out through that aspect. With the animals, same thing. You can come up with a signature teddy bear. You know, I mean, again, we got Build-A-Bear Workshop, which have made millions. You can create stuff like that, something, little trinkets that you think, oh, that would be cute. Come up with a message that you want to send. Have that product, your signature product, that people know that that's you, and then market it out through different avenues, such as the internet. That's the biggest way to market your product here in this age, is through the internet, and you don't have to have any prior experience or knowledge.
Travis, tell us a little bit more about your coffee business and how you got into it.
Well, that's great. I really would love to talk about that. With the coffee industry, again, the same thing I was talking about to you young ladies. Number one, I didn't sit and mastermind getting into the coffee business. I don't think anyone really does. It was introduced to me by my brother, by my mom. But the entire scope, what we did was, okay, we sat and thought about it. If we were to have a business, what type of business would we want to have? Something that will be a need, something that people want, something that people cannot go without. Now, I mean, you have three different recession-proof industries, you know, tobacco, alcohol, and coffee. Well, I feel comfortable with coffee. So really, that's kind of how we kind of got started, and we got up under a platform to where literally we are taking something that people do each and every day around the globe and made it healthy. I mean, and we already know there's a lot of competition out there. Everyone's doing coffee. You got Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's. It's interesting, McDonald's has now, as everyone knows, they have the McCafe. They have changed their entire business model from selling burgers and fries to now coffee. I mean, they have literally fired Ronald McDonald. You know, you don't ever see Ronald McDonald anymore. All you're seeing is the McCafes. You know, even with Dunkin' Donuts, I was out in the street the other day, and I did not hit me until now. Dunkin' Donuts changed their logo from a donut to a coffee. When you go in Dunkin' Donuts, you don't see donuts, you see coffee. So, I mean, literally everyone is trending towards coffee, because we know coffee's been on for decades. Coffee does not go away. It is recession-proof. People are going to do it every day without thinking. And people do it 3 to 4 times a day, drinking 3 to 4 cups of coffee a day. So, you know, obviously, so you have that competition, but we've got under a platform to where we're not competing against Starbucks and all those other individuals who are selling the coffee. Ours is healthy. So instead of them, yeah, they're getting people to think more about coffee, which is great. But with what we're doing, we're getting people to redirect their focus, not just saying, stop drinking coffee. No, you're gonna do it anyway. We're saying, you know what, let's offer you a healthier blend of brew of which you're already drinking, and maybe that may give you some health benefits instead of you still drinking toxic coffee, but now you're just doing it more and more through those other companies that are capitalizing on that industry.
Where can people contact you from?
Great. Well, you can contact me via email at coffeeneversleeps@gmail.com. and that's my main point of contact.
And we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with Travis and our guests. Welcome back from the break, and we're here with Travis Brown, Christy, and Emma, our guests, and our topic for today was teen entrepreneurs. Do you all have any more questions for Travis?
No, but thank you for the information.
Oh, absolutely.
No, I don't think I have any more questions, but thanks for the advice. I really appreciate it.
Well, appreciate it. I really appreciate being invited to the show.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Well, thank you for watching today. This is Teen Scene. See you next time.